Yes, thank you. Okay.
What did you find out?
Okay. It was right there in front of me. I had to ask the right question to get the right answer, didn't I? I got a hold of the bank in Hong Kong. Don't worry, I used a credit card. The New Zealand Whaling Company is not the only company putting money in that account. There's a whole consortium of companies from all over the world feeding that account.
And that's good?
That's great, because I had them run a check on the names of the boards of directors of those companies.
Well, honey, I didn't know you could do that.
Well, baby, it's just a matter of public record, sure. Turns out that there is one name that keeps cropping up. J.P. Harris.
You lost me.
J.P. Harris, also known as John P. Harris, also known as J. Paul Harris, also known as Jack Harris. Jack Harris is the alias Frank is using in the islands. Jack Harris and Frank Smith are one and the same. This is the link I've been looking for, babe. Now, if I can trace the money in these companies back to Frank in the Cayman Islands, we got him.
So, Frank Smith launders his ill-gotten gains, his dirty money, through a bank in Hong Kong, and then he feeds this money to other companies.
Yeah, including the company that made the big deposit into Damien's account, allowing him to buy into ELQ. We got Damien signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm gonna have a whole gaggle of half and quarter mains swarming around me.
There's a whaling company in New Zealand, a bank in Hong Kong, a man named Harris, a.k.a. Frank Smith, who sits on the board of several of these companies that do business with the bank in Hong Kong.
You have a very fine grasp of the situation, darling.
Well, now, how does that connect to Damien? Oh, you think that Frank Smith gave his son the money to buy into ELQ?
In a nutshell. And I can finally prove it. And I'm feeling glad all over.
What are you going to do? Are you going to turn him in?
I'm going to exact revenge from Damien. Sweeter than any court short of the Spanish Inquisition. I'm going to pluck him, gut him, dice him, and feed him to the quartermains.
Mr. Spencer?
Oh, no, not now. No, Spencer, now, if this is about your dog...
That's over, Edward. Stop kicking a dead dog. I hear you're in the market for solutions.
Not your brand of solutions.
Don't knock it till you try it.
No, some other time. We're in a meeting.
But, Edward, I come bearing gifts. See this? It may look like a plain manila envelope to you, but it is actually, in fact, the head of Damien Smith on a silver platter.
Spencer, this is no time for jokes.
No jokes. Some time ago, Alan and I agreed that the world would be a better place if Damien weren't in it. To that end, he provided me with copies of your auditor's report on Damien's financial statements.
He what? What were you thinking of, Alan?
How best to get the man out of our lives and who best to accomplish the job.
You can't let documents like that just go floating around in public.
I'm not the public.
What'd you find out?
Apparently more than your high-priced attorneys did. I was able to trace a money trail that leads from Frank Smith through a money laundering operation that uses a whole consortium of overseas companies. The trail ended with a check to Damien that looked remarkably like a legitimate payment for services rendered, but which was the funds Frank provided to allow Damien to buy into ELQ. I don't believe it.
Can you prove it?
Sure, I can. You see, the entity that made the payment is a front for a whole series of laundries, and Frank Smith sits on the board of every one of them.
That's not proof, though. I mean, what's the name of the company?
Well, it's all detailed in here. I hate to spoil the surprise. It's a fascinating read.
Well done, Luke.
Hey, but hold the phone. Now, are we supposed to take your word for this?
Well, if you're not convinced, I can certainly arrange to provide you with Damien's bank statements from his accountant's office, but they'll only corroborate what is in here. Oh, by the way, a tip of the hat to little Miss Lucy Coe for the accountant's name.
Well, that's why she was so interested.
Yeah.
You would break in there and steal them?
How I obtain things is irrelevant. What's in here is enough to convince Damien that he can be prosecuted under the RICO statutes. That's what's important.
Oh, you are a genius. Let's have the information. We'll be indebted to you for life.
That's what I thought. Gentlemen, the bidding is open.
What is this, Spencer? This is not how we do business.
No, this is precisely how you do business, Ned.
But you don't dictate the terms.
I hold the goods.
Well, maybe we're not that interested.
Shut up, Ned. Of course we're interested. Now, this is a negotiation. Let's make an offer. How does $50,000 sound?
Not quite right.
75?
Ooh, that's tempting. But, Edward, I'm not after money this time. I want the men who threatened my wife.
If it were in my power to give them to you, you'd have them already.
You have no idea who they are.
I honestly don't. And considering how much I would like to nail Damien, oh, I wish I did.
I'll accept that as the truth. For now. But it leaves us without a price.
Oh, well, make another proposal. I'm open to anything.
Well, let's see. What could it possibly be worth? Ah, simple. ELQ drop kicks the incinerator project.
Wonderful idea.
No, 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 no.
It's an even exchange. You save yourself a lot of money. And you make a whole host of people happy without dispossessing them.
Spencer, you're suggesting this just so you can bust our chops. I know you don't really care about the incinerator project.
Laura cares. She cares. I care.
Well, there's no way we surrender the incinerator. We have worked too hard, and we've already spent too much money.
I'm sorry. Ned has the family votes in writing on all issues pertaining to the incinerator. Apparently, he thinks it's a good investment for ELQ.
It is, no question. Of course, it is possible that we may ultimately decide that the Charles Street area isn't the best location for the incinerator, but this project is not on the table for negotiation.
Well, we tried.
Wait a minute. Let's not give up. How about if we endow a new surgical wing of the hospital in your name? We'll call it the Spencer Cardiac Unit.
Thank you, Alan. Has a nice ring to it, but I'm far too modest for such a display. That gives me a great idea, though. How about this, Edward? I'll turn over the entire financial records on Damien Smith. If you put your financial and personal support behind Justice Ward as a candidate for city council.
Grandfather, this is crazy. You can't possibly accept those terms.
It's my final offer if you want Damien, and I know you do. Back Justice.
Look, I know we've all had our troubles with Damien, and I admit he's playing fast and loose with the law. But he has had some very good ideas, and money is money, after all. Why would we want to create more turmoil at ELQ? The barbarians are at the gates. What we need now is continuity and steady leadership, not infighting.
With Damien gone, the infighting will end. It's a deal, Spencer. Justice will have my support when he runs for Blake's council seat.
Grandfather, this is a huge, huge mistake. Endorsing Justice aligns you with the people who are opposing what our company is trying to do. We are paying them to fight us. Now, what kind of logic is that? And how am I going to sell the incinerator to Port Charles now?
You'll find a way. Give yourself a challenge. Put your mind back on the company where it belongs.
There you are, Ned.
Oh, go remove a gallbladder. Grandfather, this is going to backfire on you, I promise you.
Thank you for your efforts, Luke.
Well, Alan, this has been your lucky week, hasn't it?
You win twice here, Edward. It's a good deal for you. First of all, you get Damien out of your hair, and secondly, you get an opportunity to further the career of someone who just might do some good for this town.
Well, let's call it an investment. The reward, please.